Hello everybody, and welcome back to Total Combatives. Today we're going to talk about buying your first pair of nunchucks. First, I'll share with you 4 things you should keep in mind when buying a pair of nunchucks. And finally, I'll tell you about a couple of great websites where you can find a pair. So let's begin. The first thing you need to keep in mind is the material the nunchucks are made out of. You can find nunchucks from a wide range of different materials. They're made in anything from rubber to hardened plastic to foam to different types of wood, or my personal favorite, rattan. If you're a complete beginner though, I recommend that you go ahead and you start with foam. And if you want, you can go ahead and get yourself a hard nunchuck as well. That way you can learn a new technique, practice it with foam, and then once you get that down, you can go on and move to the same technique with a hardened nunchuck. And you don't have to worry about hitting yourself if you already have a certain technique down. So the different materials that they are, I already mentioned foam. If you're a complete beginner, it's probably the best thing for you. You can also find them in different types of wood. Wood is going to be a lot heavier, especially if you get a really tough hardwood. And that's better for some techniques like throwing it and catching it. It's also better if you were in a combat situation to have a heavier nunchuck, but most likely that'll never happen. So my personal favorite, if you're gonna go with anything that's real hard and not foam, would be the rattan nunchucks. Not only are they hard, I personally think they look absolutely beautiful, but they're also really light, which is great for speed. They move a lot faster than the hardwood. I'll pick one of those up and show you the slight difference in speed. It's not too much different, but because there's a lot more mass, it takes a lot more to get that momentum going and keep it sustained than it does with the rattan nunchucks. The second thing you need to keep in mind is the type of linkage that is being used to join the 2 ends of the nunchucks together. This typically either comes in a cord, like I have right here, usually either paracord or some other type of twine, or they can be held together by a chain like this one I have right here. Neither of which really affect the performance. I wouldn't say that one is really better than the other. They both feel pretty much the same. The only difference I've really noticed is after a couple of days of hard training with lots of hand rolls, using chained nunchucks will kind of start to irritate the back of your hands, but it takes a while to get that way, and I wouldn't say that's really a big deal. It's more of just a personal preference of whether you like the chain or the cordage look, so that one is completely up to you. The third thing you need to keep in mind is the length of the linkage. Some martial artists like their linkage to be about 4 inches, which is what I have here. I can put it on the back of my hand and the nunchucks hang evenly off of either side. This is my ideal length for my linkage. It's what I think feels the most comfortable and I'm used to it the most. But some martial artists like their chains to either be shorter or longer. Longer ones are better for some tricks and stuff, but the shorter ones are better for speed. However, with the short ones, there are certain techniques that are harder to do, like rolling it, and maybe doing a around the neck. So I do recommend, if you're a complete beginner, to go with about a 4-inch chain. The way you can tell in the pictures is to kind of compare the length of the chain with the nunchucks. I would say you want it to be about half the length of the nunchuck or so, just kind of visually. You will see some photos where it looks like it only has, you know, a chain about like, let me get a little closer to the camera, about like that big or so. I recommend you stay away from that for now. Get a 4-inch chain nunchuck. Most of the rubber and foam nunchucks come with a 4-inch chain. I recommend that you get used to that, and once you get proficient with the 4-inch chain, you can either lengthen it or shorten it based on your individual desire. The fourth and last thing you need to keep in mind is the nunchuck design. The last three things I mentioned are essential to a great pair of nunchucks, especially for a beginner. The last thing, though, is the nunchuck design. After you narrow down all the nunchucks using those first three essentials, then it is completely up to you on what you do next. You find the pair that matches your personal preference. Like I said, I personally like the rattan. I love that the wood burning into it. I think it looks beautiful. There's other rattan nunchucks out there that have got twists in it, spirals, circles. There's a lot of them out there. I personally like the burned look. I think it looks cool. I have here some hardwood nunchucks, also held together by a chain, and they have dragons painted on them. I don't know if you can see that right there. But yeah, and there's also a little bit of engraving there for the handle, which helps with traction so your hand doesn't slip and the nunchucks don't go flying out. When it comes to the foam nunchucks for beginners, they come in all sorts of different colors. I've got a blue pair here, a black pair here. I've seen them in red and pink. So now that you've narrowed down the different nunchucks out there using the three essentials, now you get to pick the design that fits your personality the best. You can find a wide range of different nunchucks on Amazon. However, I do recommend that you visit some martial arts based websites first, because they usually have a lot better selection. You can kind of see what they have and pick that one pair of nunchucks that fits your personality the best. And usually the quality is a little bit better than the stuff that's sold on Amazon, and it's about the same price. You might end up paying $1 or $2 more, but when it comes to the quality, I would say it's definitely worth it. A couple of the websites I like to use for martial arts supplies are Tiger Claw and Century Martial Arts. I'll put a link down in the description below to both of those. That way you can go there and look, see what they have. Now, I have one thing to ask of you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up and consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I release new content. Now, if you really enjoyed this, you're looking forward to getting you a pair of nunchucks and you're gonna do it, as soon as you get those nunchucks, come visit this video again and then hit this box right here and it'll take you to your first nunchuck lesson. Until next time, train hard.